Welcome to this week's Women in Business exclusive interview. And today we have the fabulous Elaine Walsh McGrath. Mwah, hello, lovely.
Hello, gorgeous.
So you are a member of one of our national networking groups. Which one is it again?
Keller with Louise Yaxley.
Fabulous, Louise. And you are a LinkedIn and marketing expert, and that's how you help your clients become well known and the credible go-to person on LinkedIn, using all your marketing skills that was in your previous life that you've brought to this life in your business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I want people to be, particularly women, hence I'm in the Women in Business Network. I feel that quite often we're not the star of our business. And you need that confidence to shine and a little know-how and it's a lot easier than you would think. But it's time for us all to be the stars in our business.
definitely. Stars in your life and stars in your business. Okay, so we've just been chatting a little bit before about how many businesses we have had, like because you don't maybe not always stay in the same job. But so when you tell me when you started out in business and how many different businesses have you had and how has it morphed into different businesses?
Yeah, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Hi, my name's Elaine Walsh. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Um, it's my confession. Um, I think that life and business is a journey. And if you are, in terms of a personality type, things come very easily to me. And so I'm a devil for monetizing things. And let me just say, you shouldn't always monetize all of your hobbies or passions because then you've got to find a new one, right? Um, but I started into entrepreneurship in when I worked in New Zealand. I was working in really high pressure, big clients like L'Oreal. So I was in charge of $26 million. It was the biggest account in New Zealand. Um, and so I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. I'm working all the hours. Like, where's my life gone? I'm having fun, but I want more. And so I went on a journey to find the thing that I loved that I could help people with. And it started off in styling. I've never told anybody this in women. It started off in styling. And so I kept working in media. And when I came back to Ireland, I went via London and I did a course in personal styling just in the London Academy of Fashion, just off Oxford Street. It was so exciting. But didn't I return to a recession? Oh, so I kept my media job. So I kept on going into the media job. My next kind of okay, what could I do was I launched a social events business. And look, it was not a financial success because when did I launch it, Susie? I launched it in like 2009,
Mm.
like when the whole world went boom with
Yeah.
all of those mortgage issues and everything that happened in the States and then rolled out into everybody. And like the IMF came into Ireland in 2011. Meanwhile, I was trying to organize social events for people and they had no moolah, so they couldn't go out. So it was really successful at the beginning, but it just did not work out. So back to media, I went as a consultant. But what I learned there, and this is what I want everybody to notice. What do you learn every time that you think you're failing, right?
Yeah.
No, these are your lessons for the next iteration. And maybe then you need to go back and work for the man for a little while to replenish your financial resources. But and that's what I did. But it's always learning. Like with that social events business, I built websites for the first time. I worked with developers for the first time. I blogged. I was on radio. I was on TV, all off my own bat. I didn't work with the PR agency. I literally just chanced my arm and wrote emails to people and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. And you can do that too. So, yeah, not a financial success. The model wasn't right. The marketing needed tweaking, but so many more things that I learned in terms of growing your visibility to bring forward into my next role. Then I consulted. I grew my business to six figures. Then I had my daughter in 2017. She had Down syndrome, still has Down syndrome. She's grown a little bit. She's nearly eight. I can't believe it. And I went, oh God, what am I going to do? Because I'd been working with clients like Volkswagen, Fulch Ireland, like huge clients, Dublin Airport. And I just re Ryanair, and I just realized, gosh, I can't go back to that level of spreadsheets and pressure and manage all of my daughter's appointments and be there for the appointments. I share them like at least 50-50 with my husband, but still there's a lot. And sometimes, if anybody is watching this interview and has a child with additional needs, sometimes you need to know what you don't know. And sometimes there's a lot of research that goes on in trying to help you
Mm.
like support your child and therefore your entire family. Yeah. So I was like, gosh, I can't go back to this. And so in helping my daughter, I did some baby massage with her and I loved that. And the teacher said, um, you should really do kids yoga with your daughter when she's older. And I was like, sure. So what did I do, Susie? I went and did a course. And then I decided, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go back to marketing. I'm going to become a kids yoga teacher. And so now looking back on it, I can go, yeah, I was healing myself then. I needed more creativity. I needed something more than what I was getting out of the marketing at the time. And so I stood in front of 30 7-year-olds, got them to stand on their mat. I loved working with the kids who couldn't stand on their mat, that were just crazy, in a good way. And I learned pregnancy yoga, baby massage. But eventually I brought that business online when COVID hit. And that's when I went full circle. And so again, to anyone who's watching and going like, oh, I tried that, but it didn't work. I tried that, but it didn't work. There is a thread. You might be pivoting and it might be a huge pivot, but I recommend that you look at it and go, okay, what did that do for my life? Like you just said, it's not just life and it's not just business, it's life. And what I realized with the pregnancy yoga and the baby massage, I was still empowering women.
Mm.
And that's the thread for me. It's so important to empower other women
Mhm.
and help them to find their voice. And now, what I realized was then yoga teachers were approaching me and going, Elaine, how are you selling your classes? You've never been a yoga teacher before. And when I really critically looked at it, I realized, like, as good as my yoga it was the marketing. That's how I was getting people on the mat, and that's how people were booking my classes online. And I was spending time reading books about email marketing at night, not yoga philosophy. And so I realized, Blaine, maybe part of you thought that, you know, marketing wasn't worthy enough.
Mm.
And because I have huge, like I've worked with people like Anita Marshall, who's in Women in Business Network, and Alex Vitio. And so I understand like now more about myself in terms of I need to give back. I need to have a mission. I
Mm.
am very like heart centered. And so the yoga was helping me with that. But then I realized, hang on, I can help women to grow their businesses. And if I do that, then that not ticks a box, because that's not what I mean, but it kind of ticks that for me so that I can go, okay, I can actually do what I'm really good at, but in a different way than I did before. And I can really help people who feel that they don't have a voice find their voice, and give them the tools, like on LinkedIn, to grow their business and influence people and become thought leaders, the thought leaders they should be, because they're powerful, fabulous women, or just people who don't feel like out of whack. Because I work with a lot of gay men as well who show up in business, but then kind of go, oh, how do I bring this whole other side of my life into like my public profile? They feel inauthentic. And so I realized, okay, this is actually good, does good for other people, definitely does good for me, brings me financial gain, and everybody's a winner. And so, like, you probably listening to me are like, yeah, I see a really clear path there, actually. But sometimes when you're in it, you don't, you feel like you're chopping and changing. But what I say is I offer you the chance to go to forgive yourself for that and go, it's okay. I'm just searching for the thing that gives me what I need
Mm.
in all of the aspects that will help me feel more fulfilled, you know? And I know that that speaks to you, you
Yeah.
know?
So when I started business, it was because a significant event happened. My husband passed away. And you just think, oh, I just can't do the old, because all that, it just doesn't make sense. The old life doesn't make sense. Your significant, we've all got significant events that make us change. I've been in business 5 years, and that's changed a hell. I know. It's like, yes. And I was chatting before, like, I think, of course, it's going to change because I'm the personality type that needs change. I get bored, really. Not bored, but I'm always striving for growth. Growth is really important to me. What's next? What's next? I wish I'd stop asking myself, what's next? What's next? Um, because I love the ideas and I love helping people. I'm the same. The common thread is empowering women. So when we always get to ask ourselves why, because I need to get up in the morning and feel inspired, and have a purpose and a passion, and the why has to really mean a lot. And it is empowering women because there's too many white grey-haired men ruling the world. Said it, shit. Ha!
I
Um,
agree, Susie.
and women are just the best species in the world, and we need to empower more women to be the same, to believe in themselves and follow the dreams. And that's what I love. That's when I get tingles. That's when I love it. I just
Same.
don't know how, what's next. We've just been chatting earlier. I'm like, oh, there's a change coming. And even though I love change, it is uncomfortable, isn't it? Because we just want the answers, don't we? We just want to get there. I think strength and resilience and power is sitting in that uncomfortableness sometimes and keep going and knowing and have the faith and belief that everything works out.
And it
I needed
will.
that conversation today because I needed to hear that myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will. It's all going to work out. We just sometimes don't understand because we're not like it's funny as a marketer, when you stand back, you can strategically see what's working, what's not. And like you realize, oh, the tactics aren't working to bring in what you need to bring in. But okay, the strategy is right or wrong and needs tweaking. It's the same in life, you know? If we stand back and just take that moment to stand back and go, okay, I'm going on the path. That's where I want to arrive. That's my North Star. Okay, what am I doing is it going to bring me towards my North Star or away? Which is what I work with my clients. Like that's where I start with them, you know. LinkedIn is a tactic, you know, but everything else has got to bring you to your North Star. And yeah, sometimes that's scary because there's going to be parts of it that you don't like, you know, in life and in business. And but it's like, is the North Star powerful enough? Is it
Is it
really what I
full?
want to make these adjustments in my life to get what I really want? And yeah, ooh, it's exciting. But also sometimes it's challenging, you know? So yeah.
So, what is it you do? How do you help your clients? Tell me about your services.
My services. Well, I have a range of different services. I work one-to-one with clients, um, largely over 6 months to get them to their North Star. And so I know that sounds really like bullshitty, but when I meet with people, at first they come to me to help me to improve their visibility on LinkedIn and grow their business. But I start by asking them, well, what's your North Star though? Like, where are we going to in terms of life and business and your company, you know? And that tells a lot about a person. And then I can look at what on earth is stopping them in their messaging. Because quite often it's just people can't understand what the hell they offer and do to help them really get the results that they want. Or sometimes they're just talking to the wrong client, you know, they're calling in someone who isn't going to pay the bills or, you know, so that's what I help people with. And then for people who want to kind of do it themselves, I have a range of courses that people can avail of, like 5-star LinkedIn profile. I have like build connections with ease, sell without feeling salesy. They're all like standalone courses that people can take. And I also have a membership called Let's Get Visible, where I have a whole host of businesses, from VAs to recruitment agencies, coaches who are part of that community who, you know, may not want or perhaps can't afford to work with me one to one, but have enough understanding of their own business that they can go in. And what they all say is the strategic work they do with me then really empowers them to just get out there and grow their visibility. And then they can always come back. They come back every month and ask me questions. And so you get someone who's like worked with L'Oreal, worked with like Bank of Ireland, worked with Bulmers, worked with, you know, Volkswagen's eyes on what you're sharing, so that, you know, so that it's working. Like I want my people to feel like the star of their business. And largely they're not when they come to me, you know, but they are by the end of working with me.
Fabulous. And we met on Women in Business Networking. How long have you been a member of Women?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that it's as little as 3 years, you
Oh,
know,
right.
because I've gotten so much out of Women in Business Network. It is a fabulous network. And yes, I was there for the launch of Roddick, you know, like, you know, and what a great group. Look, your groups are fabulous. They're just so full of energy, your wonderful energy. And yeah, I can't believe it. Just only coming up for renewal, which I will be, which I told Louise there recently. I was like, I'll be renewing. You know, it's so good.
Because where do you live? Where are you
I'm in
based? I
Dublin,
know
Susie.
exactly. You're in
I'm
Dublin.
in
Can you believe?
Dublin.
And this is the one of the only thing that COVID did for us was to make the world a little bit smaller but bigger, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And that's why
yeah,
I opened. I did my in-person meetings, but my online meetings because I started my business. I think a lot of people did in 2020. Why? I think a lot of people had those fuck it moments, didn't they? Um, and you needed to be visible and reach out to people. And
yeah.
this fabulous technology called Zoom. I prefer Zoom over Teams. Um, I think that's like Android and Apple, though, isn't it? Android and Apple. Is that right? Android and Apple is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
difference, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. Um, and yeah, I get to meet fabulous people like you, and you get to be able to work with as many people as you need. You know, you
yeah.
reach.
Yeah. Oh, it's fabulous. And it all came through, honestly. So I know I'm a LinkedIn expert, but this is the honest to God's truth. I came to Women through a post on LinkedIn from Sema, who is a life coach and happens to be in, I think, one of Louise's in-person groups. And you know, as we all do, to support each other, she shared one of Louise's, and you do it too. Like, okay, I'm having a session where I'm doing, you know, visitors. And I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. And I said to Sam, like, I'm in Dublin though, could I join? Would that be okay? And Sam reached out to Louise and Louise was like, yeah. And I just love that. I love how inclusive Women is, how welcoming it is, how it's vast. It's a very big network, but it feels small in the meetings. because of the energy that all the leaders and the franchise owners bring to each of their individual meetings. So I can passport to your meeting and to any other meeting within my membership fee. And at the same time, I can just really in depth get to know the women who are in my group, which is so cool, you know? It's
Like, 'cause
really
we
good.
we've never met in person, but I feel like I know you. Do you know what I mean? Like you've been BFF. Like, if we hugged, it's like we've known you forever. And that's the power of, I wouldn't just say networking, because you can. I've been to a few rooms and there's some shockers out there, isn't there? Um, and I've never felt, we always still, I've never felt welcomed. I never felt like you fit in.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, especially when you're starting your own business. You want to work with people that you like, and you want to hang out and learn and do business with people that you like as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what Women is for me. We are attracting fucking amazing women. I think so.
I agree. I agree.
Who,
And I'm working with a lot of them, you know, I
yeah,
mean, there's huge potential, for both, but not just for finding clients, but also finding your support network and also finding suppliers that you trust, you know. I
mm,
mean, I wouldn't have such a wonderful virtual assistant without Wibben, and she's freaking amazing, you know. So
who's your virtual assistant?
well, Louisa, but she is an associate of Leanne who's
Oh,
in my group.
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
have
think
found her. I wouldn't
yeah.
without the Keller group, you know. So
Finding supplies is really important, because when I started out in business, I was so naive, so innocent, so green, and I just believed that everyone wanted to help me. But there's sharks out there. I call them whiffins. What's in it for me's? They stole me money and gave me a shit service, and then you don't have any. Do you know what I mean? It's just can leave a really bitter taste in your mouth. I've even worked with some coaches. Like, God, like, is this the way it is? Um, and now within the women community, I can recommend so many fabulous people to work with. Or if I don't know, I can just ask and go, hey, do you know anybody who? Like there's a lady, I've just had a one-to-one with before with a lady who's a commercial lawyer. And literally the week before, someone says, I'm looking for a commercial lawyer. Do you know anyone? I'm like, oh no, I don't. And it's like they just landed. Like
yeah.
the next week, this amazing commercial lawyer came to one of my groups, and like, oh, it's like I've got a match. And it's great. So I'm just
Yeah.
introducing them together now. And it's just that's the best feeling in the world for me.
Yeah.
So I started out in business 5 years ago. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
Didn't even know, even at home on my street, if someone says, do you know a gardener? I'm like, I didn't even know a gardener. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know anyone, didn't know a builder, but now I might not know, but I know someone who does, and I can generally ask you the question, and I know that anybody you will recommend to me, you vouching for them.
Yeah.
They're going to be
Yeah.
someone that you've really worked with, not just someone you might know or a friend of a friend knows,
Yeah.
and that's the
Oh, it's
power.
brilliant.
So, what was your experience of networking before Wibbin? Have you
It
done much
was
before?
many moons ago. It was so long ago. It was when I was a junior, and formal networking now I'm talking about.
Mm.
And gosh, it was like 25 years ago, more probably, as in longer ago. And it was like very kind of formal, like breakfast meeting and, kind of awkward. But, I suppose both the life experience, but also just a nice, welcoming experience, has changed all of that.
I think, yeah, we've definitely, well, more the human factor has come in for me. I
Yeah.
call it the human factor. You're a human being first. How are you? Checking in with you. Are you having a good day?
Yeah.
And being more, yeah, compassionate. So how has networking with Women helped you in your business?
Oh, immeasurably, immeasurably to find clients. And okay, fine, I get clients from other networks. Okay, but like, I'm trying to think of the difference. Again, like the suppliers thing that I just mentioned. Just the referral. Like there is a lot more referring in this network, I find. And I just enjoy it, you know. It's got a good energy to it, you know. It doesn't feel like a chore. I suppose for anyone who particularly is at the beginning of their career or has pivoted and is like, oh goodness, how do I answer those kind of questions that marketers like Elaine would ask? And how do I talk to my ideal client? How do I find my ideal client? I think a network like Women is good because you'll find your ideal client there,
Mhm.
somewhere there, and you'll find your first couple of clients so that you can start answering those questions so that you can then pull in more clients, and I think that's why networking is such a great place to start your business.
Yeah, and one thing is that we're all willing to help as well. So
Yeah,
after a meeting, it's have a catch up with a fabulous lady, and just be genuine and open and honest, and ask the questions because we
yeah,
all want to help each other, don't we? We all want to impart our knowledge,
yeah,
um, and help you succeed because I think everybody in women, our common thread is empower more women,
yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So two more questions for you. What 5 words describe women for you? Yeah.
Oh God, support, um, like friendly, connection. Oh goodness. That's just three. Networking. Global. It's global. Like,
Global.
I
Yeah,
think it
it's
is global. Yeah.
local yet global.
Yeah, local like yo global. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
you put supportive, fun, growth, connection, and energy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It is like International Women's Day, right? We've got 950 members, we've got 97 groups in the north, the Midlands, and the south. And what I love about that day is we're all doing our own different things,
yeah,
but we have like a common reason to be together. And we all have the same picture. So I love how we share all the pictures. So we're all doing our own meetings that month, but we feel connected. How do
yeah,
you feel connected but not be next to each other?
yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Do you know what I think?
Yeah, and the energy. Yeah, that was the word I couldn't remember. Energy that brings. It's great. I feel like uh, in the meeting, you might come, there might be a lot of stuff going on in your life. There is in mine. But you come and, you get something from every single meeting, like some of the talks are so interesting. You find out things about other women where you don't feel so alone then, Quite often we've gone into business, as you said, Susie, because something changed in our lives. And so when you find that out about somebody, you go, wow, I didn't know that. And it just gives you that extra connection.
Mhm.
So yeah, like it really is honestly so good. Yeah, I mean, I'm going on, but it's such a great network, it really is.
And this is why I do these interviews because I can pap on about it on my social media, but I wanted to get the words from other people.
Yeah.
Um, because I just think it's great. Because I'm not the best at words. I'm not a copywriter. I can't articulate. I'm an accountant for God's sake. I can do numbers on a spreadsheet, no problem. Love it. Do you know what I mean? But I can't articulate it in words. So I'll just go, it's dead good. Like you need to come. And that's my
That's not
marketing.
true.
It's
That's
dead good. Are you
not
coming?
true. You've got plenty of words, girl. Plenty of words.
So finally, um, for those ladies who've not dared to come yet, or who have started a business and they might be a little bit nervous about networking, what's your top tips for them? What's your advice for them?
Oh, for specifically for them. Okay.
Mm.
I'd like do it. Give it a go. You've nothing to lose. And I started, and I was given such a welcome. And I've been in so many meetings where women, it's their first time, and like we all kind of cheer each other on, as you kind of go into it and get more. used to networking. I think how you will improve is getting your 60 seconds right,
Yeah.
so where you share what you do. Like, so the more simple you can keep that, the better. And then as you go into it and you improve your networking and you get more out of it, you get more out of it by following up with people
Mhm.
and seeing how you can help them as much as they can help you, and that reciprocity,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
whatever that
That's the,
word is,
yeah.
in reciprocity, really helps, But if you're like a super duper duper green person who's like, oh, I don't know, like, and you feel like vomiting, like you're like, oh God, we're gonna be on Zoom. Oh, that's okay. Like, we've had situations like we've had mums like who are like, oh my God, I have to feed my baby, camera off, like, or mums going like, oh, I wanted to come today. But now I've my kids at home. Sure, like my daughter comes in and blows kisses like when she's sick and I'm doing a meeting. Like we are really like, yeah, come on in, and like, oh gosh, the doorbell's rang, it's the
Yeah.
delivery
Delivery man.
man with the whatever. Fine,
Bring him in.
just say hey, like it's easy. So
Yeah.
just don't overthink it. Don't let your fears stop you from success. Like, don't like and just think of yourself sometimes as your best friend. Like if your best friend said, oh, I can't do a Zoom meeting for like a couple of hours because I'm afraid, what would you say to her? Like you just probably go, oh, go on. Like how bad can it be, just go give it a go, and it will be wonderful, so
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Lovely to chat with you, and we're going to be seeing each other soon on Hepburn, aren't we?
yeah, at another meeting.
I might change the top soon. No, no. So yeah, I'll see you soon, and thank you for sharing all your pearls of wisdom. You can be anybody you want to be. You are
Yeah,
your greatest reinvention story. It all starts with you. It's you get to decide, isn't it? Really, you get to decide, and
yeah,
then just tell everybody what you want, and we all come and help you.
yeah. Look,
Simple, isn't it? Really
this
simple.
is it. Like as you help people to reinvent themselves, but what I would say to people is you're in charge of your own narrative. So what you say you do in the Zoom room, obviously while still being truthful, is it's up to you. What you say you are on social media, it's up to you, So yeah, go for it. That's what
Go
I
for it.
say,
That's
Susie.
the
Go
theme.
for it.
Just JFDI. Yes, that's the one. Yeah. All right, my
Just
love.
go for it.
Thank you very much.